All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of Talking to Myself. As always, I'm Special K. Today's show, we welcome Derell. He's going to join us, one of my good friends, co-workers. We're going to talk about some today's game basketball. We're going to talk a little bit about some historic basketball. So we're going to go ahead and start in. Hope you guys enjoy the new setup. Big things coming.
Appreciate you having me, baby.
No problem. Thanks
Really
for
do,
coming in.
man. Special, man. This is special for me, man. Just being a guest and seeing like your ideas come true. You know what I mean? Like what you wanted. Like I want to do a podcast. Remember when we first talked about this? So to see this to come to fruition and to bring me on the show and just to see the wall, you know what I'm saying? Come down, man. This is
big changes. Big changes. Every episode, man. It's exciting. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody supporting. For real. It's amazing things. So, all right, let's go ahead and kick it off. Today, we're going to start. The only news really going on right now is Montrezl Harrell signed a 2-year contract with Philadelphia. We're going to break that down real quick. For one, I'm excited about it. See him play with PJ Tucker and James Harden again. I think that would be special. They were special before. So, they got a lot of key pieces over there. Tyrese Maxey, Embiid, and Tobias Harris. So I'm excited about that.
and
What do you think?
I'm thinking Philly was one of those teams on 2K that I would run with a lot online. And at the 4, I forget who I used to put at the 4. It might have been Paul Millsap, I think it was. So to have Montrezl Harrell right there, that's a huge addition. You know what I mean? He's coming off a not so good was last year or two with the Hornets. I feel like he
Last year with the Hornets.
Yeah, it wasn't
ever since the Lakers.
Yeah, in LA did his thing. I feel like with the Hornets, he maybe just not the right place for him, but definitely not living up to his potential.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I think some familiar scenery with Harden and Tucker would probably help out with that. Big team in the East, going back to a contender too, so that'll help.
Playing anywhere where you got like people like that that's gonna win, it definitely changes that like mindset. You know what I mean? Where would I'm drawing a blank. Where did he start?
Houston.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's in Houston, out of Louisville.
Monster, yeah.
Yeah, he was a big part of that Chris Paul trade. Big part of that Chris Paul trade. Yeah, I'm excited. I think Philly's still up there with in the top of the East now for this year. I think it's still a hard-fought battle because honestly, I think there's 5 to 6 teams that are about just right there, close, even together. So, and that brings me to my next point, actually. We wanted to break down the top 5 teams in the West and the East. We're going to do a 5A for each, the West and the East. Since we're already talking about the East, we'll break it down. Like I said, for me,
I took a sneak peek at your list, y'all. I damn near think it's nothing. Like it's one team. It's one team that's different on both ours. But I'll let you go ahead and shoot yours.
Oh no, I'll let you go ahead. I just wanted to just say first off, like I said, I think all these teams are close together, man. I think the East and the West are both crazy powerhouses.
Okay, so these aren't in order, but it's kind of like tiered to. I feel like championship contenders are at the top, going down to the team that's gonna be like around the mid, like 4, 5, 6. So starting off, Bucks, you got Giannis. Like with that core, any team Giannis is on, I don't think you can count them out.
Oh, absolutely.
It's always Giannis, in my opinion, the best player in the NBA right now.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, just a monster, man. So with him and the Bucks, I think they losing Middleton last year was tough. So I think they're gonna be hungry. I think they're gonna come back first or second seed. Right after that, I got the Sixers. I think the Sixers and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that could be. That I would love to see that, yo, man. I would love to see that. But I got the Sixers, Celtics. I got the Heat, Nets, and Cavs. I seen yours and I seen Atlanta. I'm like, how did I forget Atlanta, y'all? So I was like,
yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I had Atlanta last. I got them at that 5A. It's just they were there with Cleveland, but I think Donovan Mitchell
just breaking news.
Yeah, that Donovan Mitchell trade, man, it's just obviously things keep getting said. LeBron possibly going there. They can't draft Bronny, so let's not even talk about that. I've said things about that. But yeah, that Cavs team, man, that's I think last show I did say I don't think they're there next year, but I think they're in. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, to be honest with you.
Cavs?
Yeah, I want to move them up. This wasn't any type of order for me,
Yeah, just
but I got man, that is hard. Milwaukee and Brooklyn, I would have to say 1 and 2. No particular order, but I think Brooklyn's roster, even if it doesn't work out with Ben Simmons, KD, Kyrie, that roster's stacked. So,
mhm.
uh,
Yeah, I got to see what Ben Simmons gonna do. Like it's been what 2 years without
yeah,
Ben.
yeah, 2 years without Ben. So, man, that put him in the roster. I mean, technically, you can't call Ben a superstar, but 2 superstars and an all-star.
All star for
Man,
sure.
that's crazy. Obviously, Milwaukee, like you said, Giannis is one of the. I got him in number 2 best player in the league right now.
Shout out to the 414, y'all.
Yeah, definitely. Milwaukee, man. I love Grayson Allen. I think that was a huge pickup last year. Big fan of him. I love his mentality, dirty play. I like it all. I like it all. After that, man, I loved what Boston did. I love bringing in Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think you have to move Marcus Smart out of the 1. I think he's a great point guard now.
They did get him. Oh man.
And they got Brogdon. They still got Derek White, and all those guys can play the 1 and 2. So it's just exciting to see that. I still think they're top. Now they got a taste too. So it's like, well, we want to go back. We know what it is. We know what it's like. After that, Philly, Miami, neck and neck. I think their rosters are very similar. Some young guys, more young guys on Miami side, but still need that veteran presence. So in Atlanta, I just threw them in because I do like Murray, Trae Young, Bogdanovich, these young guys. I've always been a fan of Capella coming out of Houston, so I had to throw them in there. I think they're still a play-in team.
Exactly, exactly. They've been there with last 2 years playing in playoffs.
Yeah, last 2 years on the play-in.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely totally disrespected them on my end. But it's like looking at these teams on mine. It's like if I had to choose, man, I feel like that Cavs trade, that Donovan Mitchell trade, really puts man. So to put Atlanta over Cleveland and Brooklyn, that was my last 2. It's like now that I'm seeing Atlanta, it's like definitely make the playoffs, but top 5, it's hard to say. But I totally disrespected them because totally forgot.
So young and Trae Young. As much as I love Trae Young, shout out Trae Young. You were the star player on my fantasy team last year. Man, you're a liability on turnovers.
Mr. Turnover.
Man. So yeah, they got a lot to do, but it's hard to leave them out. That East, man, it's just scary how things have turned out like that. And I think the scariest thing about Cleveland for me, man, is the reason why I got them in the Western Conference now. It's like they're at that, with how many years these players have, they're at that level where not only are they going to do this thing in the future, but they might do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know. So that's why I got them this year, because I think we're going to be surprised. I think we're going to be surprised.
How could we forget the merch?
Closer. Yo.
The merch, man.
Morgan Sanders, my cousin. Prototype merch, new logo prototype. We're gonna do some changes. Got the late night feel with the basketball feel. Shout out to my cousin. I love you, man. Big things coming. Big things coming.
Yeah, man. We got the merch. Like, come on, y'all. I even get the merch, man. I'm had to throw in the merch. Had to.
Oh, and Morgan says the famous Derell. Hello. Shout out to Morgan again. I love you.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm looking. I'm like,
I forgot. Man. I mean, look, I'm going for the late night talk show feel, and just I didn't even ask for this logo. This is just, it's almost spot on, and definitely appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Morgan.
Shout out.
Yeah.
You want to lead us off in the West?
The West, yeah, the Western Conference. Top 3 teams. I got the Warriors, Grizzlies, Suns. That's like top of the pack. I could throw Dallas in there too. So,
Oh, absolutely.
and it's hard. This is the thing with the West. It's like you break down the West and you just see Golden State, Memphis, Phoenix, Dallas. It's like damn, like who can finish number one? You know what I mean? And I feel like it's always been like that way for the last 20 years. I want to like
Oh yeah,
the
West
West
been
is just
stacked for as long as I can remember.
man. It's and that's why when LeBron went to West, I'm like like this ain't the East, baby. Like it ain't
Nah.
10 years straight to the finals. This ain't you're not gonna be playing
Good
bums in
luck.
the playoffs, man. Like it's gonna be tough. So going to the West when he did that was a big thing. But like it's like you take top four teams in the West and compare them to the East. It's like man, it's that's the difference between the East and the West, and that's why it's so hard in the West because you got teams like the Warriors, the Grizzlies, the Suns, the Mavericks, and it's like 1 through 4. It's like I feel like the seeding won't matter. It's when the playoff time
Oh,
comes, who's
absolutely.
gonna know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Who's gonna shine?
Yeah, that seating's so different from the West to East because that fourth team in the East is not even gonna compare to the fourth team in the West. Probably like a second seed in the East.
And that's why I'm looking forward to the playoffs being switched to top 16 teams overall instead of 8 from the East, 8 from the West. I feel like that'd be completely change up with the NBA and Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference in the final. Like, but it'll give us the best 16 teams out there, so we know like in the first round, it's not gonna be the first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be the Bucks against some bums. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like we get a better series depending on how the season went. You know what I mean? Compared when it comes to the record. So definitely looking forward towards that. I know it's coming. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Oh,
Maybe.
absolutely. Especially if the East, if history keeps repeating itself, for sure.
So those 4 at the top, and then I got my Timberwolves. I'm gonna say 5 or 6 seed this year. I feel like with the acquiring Rudy, got slow motion over here, man. Like I feel Austin Rivers on top of what we did last year, man. I'm excited for my Timberwolves, y'all. Like I'm excited to see what we can do.
Absolutely.
And I got 5 and 6 to go back and forth between the Timberwolves and the Clippers. Give it to the Clippers just based off of Kawhi can stay healthy, Paul George can stay healthy. That team, shit, might be up there in that top 4. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
Injuries always play a key role in standings throughout the year. But if we could control no injuries like this was 2K, definitely putting the Clippers over the Timberwolves just because of the, you know what I'm saying, got a better roster.
For sure. Yeah, interested to see if they can stay healthy this year. Been too long without Kawhi.
Man, it's been a while without Kawhi. The Claw, man.
Yeah,
shout out to my boy Lavelle, man. Hey, when I got a homie, when Kawhi was coming into the NBA, he's like, this dude gonna be special. And I'm like, all right, whatever. To see where Kawhi is now, like you was right. Like I give it to you, was right.
Okay.
That boy's a superstar, man.
Definitely is. I like that. I like that. Trying to see.
I'm sure somebody I left out in that West because I threw my Timberwolves in there, but
I think we got the same. I don't have the Clippers. Who do I got to replace the Clippers?
Oh well, I got 6. I got 6 actually. So if we was doing 5, you got 2, 4. Oh, you got Lakers.
Oh, okay. Yes. Now I'll explain that. A little bit of bias.
Yeah, he got to. We got to be biased, so yeah, he got to, man.
I guess my order, I didn't write it in order, but obviously number 1 is Golden State because, again, they didn't have to do much at all. They just replaced who they lost and JaMychal Green, Dante DiVincenzo. So I think those were 2 silent great pickups for him. So I obviously got them at 1. Number 2, man, I'm going to have to go for Memphis as well. I mean, they're kind of like that Cleveland team. They're Cleveland before Cleveland for sure.
Yeah, that's a nice comparison. I like that.
Yeah, they're very, very exciting, especially, they're going to have to get a long-term center here soon. Obviously, it's not going to be Steven Adams. He's at the end of his career. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. Had to put them at 2, had to give them the respect. After that, I'm going to have to go with Dallas. I like what they did. They kept Dinwiddie. They traded for Christian Wood, and then they brought in JaVale McGee for 3 years. Underrated center,
man.
for
Hey,
sure.
whenever I'm doing my fantasy draft, I see him for backup center. It's like you
Yes.
can't go like the height, the athleticism. You can never
He's a
go wrong with
monster.
JaVale,
Yeah,
man.
he's a monster for sure. I'm glad he's got his money. I'm glad to see him in Dallas for sure.
Starting?
Yeah, I think
Starting. That's
he's probably going to share time with Dwight Powell because they still got Powell under contract.
Oh.
Probably a little bit of both. Christian Wood at the 4, Luka and Dinwiddie 1 and 2, Finney Smith at the 3. Shout out to Finney Smith, undrafted. After that, this one gets tough after the top 3 because I'll go ahead and give you who I got left. I got the Lakers, I got the Suns, and Minnesota. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say Phoenix. Don't know. I think Chris Paul is dwindling fast. I hate to say it, but we'll see what happens with that. But I think Phoenix can. Those next 2 spots I'm about to say are gonna switch because I have a bad feeling about Phoenix this year.
Yeah, they last their window was last 2-3 years.
Definitely.
Like that's closed, so it's like definitely start to descend in standings and just overall performance.
For sure. I don't think DeAndre Ayton's too happy and
yeah, he's just about to leave.
Yeah.
he was just signed to Indiana. Breaking news, like what? Like, nah,
they give him less money too. They want to give him that big contract. It's like slap in the face, kind of. So
I think we start to see Chris Paul start to show his age because I feel like he hasn't. Like he's still been CP3, not doing what he used to do, but still been productive and still been like a leader. So, but I feel like I think this year we'll start to see his numbers like slightly start to decrease. And
this year 18 for him. So
man.
I agree. I think he's going to start. It's time to look for a starting point guard in Phoenix. See what happens with that. After that, I gotta put it's hard. Minnesota Lakers. I'm just gonna reverse 5-6. Lakers.
Yeah, talk to me about the Lakers, man. How you feeling about going into this year as a Lakers fan? Like what's your expectations? Like how do you feel?
I love LeBron being an underdog. Because when he went back home in Cleveland in 2015, they said Cleveland wasn't going to make a playoffs for 2 years. So definitely love him being an underdog. I like AD coming back. I think he's locked in. I like the changes they made. I like bringing in Pat Bev. Wasn't a big fan of Taylor Horton Tucker. So with all the young pieces they have, Austin Reeves is going to start this year, Lonnie Walker. I'm excited how they all play together. And I think Russ Westbrook and Pat Bev, I think they're just gonna gel, man. I think we're gonna be surprised.
So you think the Lakers keep Westbrook? You think?
I think it's gonna be Westbrook, Reeves, Walker, LeBron, AD, and you got Pat Bev as the 6th man. I think that's because they already said Austin Reeves and Walker are gonna start this year. So
that's gonna be the. What would you say for LeBron? When not his best like starting lineups in a while.
Not his best, but I think at the same time, with the way the NBA is going, I think it's the best scenario for the NBA in today's time. And I think it's because the last year, no, the year before, no, because now these teams are half and half. Warriors, half and half.
Half and half as in what?
Veterans,
young guys. Okay, got you. Yeah,
you got your guys who've got you there so far. Made whatever kind of dynasty you think you got, and then you got these other guys right behind, about to do the same thing. So I think that's what's been going on the last few years, and I think the Lakers are missing it, and I think they got that this offseason.
They missed the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah.
I think this is my personal opinion. I think it was intentional that they missed the playoffs. That's just my opinion because I feel like had they made it, they would have got embarrassed the first round.
Yeah, I think so.
Embarrassed. They would have played with either the Warriors or the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would have been
the way the Grizzlies are, man.
We could have beat the Grizzlies, man. Ah,
I would hate
frustration
this
of a
matchup,
team, man. Ah, my
Oh,
boys let that
Timberwolves.
go.
I can't forget them. That's why I got to reverse them to 5 and 6 because I think that was a trade of the year for sure. Bringing Rudy Gobert. I hate that they're losing Pat Bev. Huge Pat Bev fan.
Man,
I think that was man just in 1 year. I think that was the heart and soul of that team. So
man.
sad to see, but I think bringing him in. Love Austin Rivers. Been a fan of him since Duke. So great role player in the NBA too. So with the pieces they already have over there, I mean the starting five: D'Angelo, uh, Edwards. Who you got? Three.
See, at the 3, it could be the Daniels.
Oh yeah, Daniel House.
Nah, what is his name?
Oh, Jaden McDaniel. Or
yeah, JD McDaniels. Yeah, JD McDaniels. Yeah, him at the 3, Towns at the 4, and Rudy Gobert at the 5. Yeah, Towns go back to his original position. I'm kind of excited to see.
Hell yeah.
Because for the last couple of years, I've been looking like, dog, you 7 foot. How is you not averaging these double-digit rebounds? But being so soft inside and just not being his original position, it's like he can't bang with those big boys down low. You know what I mean? He's like to stay. And that's the one thing I noticed in the playoffs when we were playing the Grizzlies. We were up 20, and we kept shooting threes. I'm like, yo, you up 20 points. Get Towns in the paint.
Yep.
Get a foul or get a close shot. And we just kept jacking up threes. Towns not in the paint, out the 3, so he's clogging up everything. So to have Rudy Gobert, did you see the dunk on
playing for France?
Yeah, to see that, I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, you gotta be.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. Pick and roll, Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. Pick and roll with D'Angelo Russell.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
hey, it's going. I'm excited. This is the year for the Timberwolves to make some noise, y'all.
And D'Angelo is a great pick and roll point guard too. So that's man, they just got.
I get excited when I talk about the Timberwolves.
There's
man.
another half and half team too. You got those guys, D'Angelo and Rudy Gobert now. Then you got Anthony Edwards coming up, McDaniels, all these young guys. That's Minnesota's going to be there, man.
Yeah, that's why. Like I said, man, top. I'm aiming for a 5th seed. I don't see us getting any higher than that, based off of how stacked the West is.
Yeah.
Anything under 5 is this, because we were 6 last year, 6 seed last year, or 7th. We made the play in, won the game, so 7th. So anything lower than last year with this squad we got now, yo, is a disappointment. And I just, as a fan, hope we can, you know what I'm saying, get it right, man. Hope we can get it right.
Absolutely.
With Rudy Gobert and Towns, that's big boy ball right there. A lot of rebounds to acquire 3-time defensive player of the year, 2 or 3 time defensive player of the year, man. Like, I'm willing to give up a lot for that. And I knew Pat would be in there. It's just like we had to give up something.
Yeah, had to do something.
So
still won.
Yeah.
You got your core 4 now. You're just missing maybe missing 3. I mean, who knows with McDaniel?
Hey,
young. So.
I seen a picture. I don't know if it was photoshopped or not, but that boy is.
Oh, he's swole now,
bro. Okay. I don't know the picture. If the picture I seen is real, and he gave us some signs in playoffs. Like he can hit the 3, he can drive, he can lay up. Like if he can produce and basically just play to his potential, I'm liking us, y'all. I'm excited as a Timberwolves fan. It's been a long time, y'all. That's why that's why they were celebrating like that in the playoffs, man. People don't understand that if as a fan, when you lose so much, when you see your team lose so much and you finally get a taste of success, after the last time we made the playoffs was with Jimmy Butler and Towns, that was maybe like 2017, I want to say.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Lost to the Rockets, tore our ass up the first round. So to get to the playoffs and actually win 2 games, it had been since what, 03-04 season with KG, MVP year? That's the last time we actually won 2 playoff games in the series. You know what I mean? So to get there, win the play-in at home, and to get to the playoffs and under succeed, because we should have won a series, man. But hey, I feel like we needed that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We needed that. So take that punch on the chin, get up, and hopefully this year make some of ourselves, man, and surprise a lot of people because I think we can.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. But speaking of Pat Bev, man, this man had his introductory Lakers press conference yesterday, and he made a comment. He said, the interviewer said,
Shout out to Cody, man.
Shout out to Cody, being goofy, hitting the gritty. Yeah, the interviewer says, so how you feel about playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis? This man gave us, you should be asking how they feel about playing with me. I just got weak. I already knew what was going to be said, but just had to mention that, man. It's just crazy. Love Pat Bev. Came up with the Rockets, undrafted. Great career at Arkansas. So, and what he did in the Clippers and what he did over Minnesota just in 1 year, man, a lot of heart. He's that guy. He's that guy everybody wants. So excited to see what he does with the Lakers. Excited that he's looks like him and Westbrook are being friendly together. So
got it. And two, one thing my high school coach taught me, people like that you got to embrace because that's your teammate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was one practice I was talking trash to my teammates. I was new to the team, and my coach was like, stuff like that you got to embrace. That's your teammate. So when y'all go out there and y'all battle, you got them on your team. You know what I mean? So y'all gonna be barking to the opponents, but a person like that, you know what I'm saying? You want to embrace that energy because it's when you in a fight, you know he gonna go out there, he gonna, you know what I'm saying? But that's gonna be your teammate. Yeah, it ain't like you going against him. He with you. So
big change.
Yeah, nice. And I definitely think he gonna give LeBron just like that, that just a little extra, man. You know, people like that energy. You need that energy. You know what I mean? So to have somebody like that on your team and clutch, like when the clutch time hit a big shot, you know he's gonna give you that.
And you know LeBron signed off on it.
Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. Of course he did.
Obviously he's on board. So it's either gonna go really good or really bad. So I hope it goes really good. I can't see another bad year with LeBron or the Lakers. So.
Shout out to Pat Bev, man. He getting paid.
Yeah, glad to get his money. Glad to go somewhere where he wanted to go too. Showtime. I think we're back in the Showtime era for real.
He said he wanted to go to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the.
Yeah, he wanted to play with them. I'm excited to see that.
Finally get to play with LeBron, man.
And playing with LeBron either goes 1, 2 ways. Good or bad. It's in people's careers, man.
It has.
For real. Beasley. Shout out to Beasley.
Mike Beasley?
Mike Beasley.
Man.
Melo. I don't even know what's going on with Melo right now.
Yeah. That's it. When you losing, it ain't his fault. It's everybody else's fault. And it sucks. That's the LeBron effect. I mean,
definitely is a LeBron effect.
But when you winning, it's good. But when you losing, no, it ain't LeBron fault. It's everybody else's fault. Somebody got to get traded. Somebody got to go.
Every year. It's starting to get ridiculous. So I'm glad the Lakers didn't trade Westbrook for sure. Because it's just getting ridiculous at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing LeBron started was, well, you could say he started. I don't think he did. But the big threes. So we're going to talk about our favorite big three right now. You want to get us started?
No, I'll get it started, man. Yeah, I see it up there, man. Favorite player all time, KG. Favorite player all time, KG, man. Shout out to my boy Damo. True story. He was on a bus asking everybody who their favorite player was. This was like 2000. This was like 2000, 2001. He's asking people who their favorite player was or whatever. He said he was like KG. He's like KG. He cold. He just ain't got no team in Minnesota. And I really thought about it. And I'm like, KG is a monster, like a beast. So I went home and I watched some highlights and I'm like, dog, this dude is a monster. So at that moment, you're like, okay, because T-Mac, before KG, T-Mac was my favorite player. Tracy McGrady, yeah. That was my boy. Like T-Mac was man. Then I started like paying attention. I'm like, this boy KG is on a whole nother level. I seen that. Who that?
Ooh, that's a bold prediction.
What's that?
That's a bold. Lakers or Bucks taking it this year, hands down.
What? Oh, that's real bold.
Shout out to Louis Johnson.
Man, shout out to Louis. That's his, yeah. we gonna hold you to that, Louis.
Yeah, I remember that.
We're gonna hold you to that. Lakers or the Bucks. The Bucks I can see, but the Lakers, oh yeah. KG. What do you say?
This. You said what? Oh, you said this X.
Oh, that's my bro. That's my little bro.
Oh,
Shout
okay,
out, shout out
okay.
X, man. Shout out. That's my boy. That's my little brother. Shout out X,
Okay,
man.
shout out. Yeah.
So
Welcome to the show.
welcome. KG favorite player all time. That year in Minnesota when he won the MVP, and just speak for itself, man. Like he a dude in the West by himself. Like think about it. This man had bums like no meaning disrespect. Wally Serbiak, Michael Oliver Candy, Troy Hudson, Trenton Hassel. No disrespect to all y'all, baby. What was it? Irvin Johnson. Like no disrespect to them, baby, but who was it? I'm trying to name all the players, but that team was not that good. Finally got a chance to get Sam Cassell and Spreewell MVP year. They don't re-sign Spreewell, so he leaves. Sam Cassell is about out of his prime, older. So KG's like, look, man, I done all I can. And there's an interview he sent down, with a guy used to coach Georgetown, Thompson.
Yeah, the guy.
Older black guy, yeah. He sent down having this is after the KG's MVP year. Sent down talking to KG. KG like, Mama said it'd be days like this, grass ain't green on the other side. You know what I mean? Like you could tell he wanted to be in Minnesota, bro, but he was losing. And in the interview, you could just see like he was hurt, bro. He's like, I'm losing. Just, I'm saying, so getting into it with the owner, they butted heads a lot. That's why his number, if you think about it, his number is still not retired, like in Minnesota, which is disappointing. So shout out my boy Dre. Shout out Dre Lou. I was sitting on the toilet one day, yo. He called me. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, you hear about the trade? I'm like, what's going on? He said, KG got traded to the Celtics. I'm like, what? I'm like, we gave up because Ray Allen went there before. So I'm like, we either gave up Ray. There's no way that we weren't here. There was no way that Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and KG was going to be on the same team. So somebody got either Paul Pierce got traded or Ray Allen got traded. He was like, no, bro, they kept both of them. And I'm like, you got KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce on the same team? I don't care who else you give us. They kind of, that was, at the time, that was the biggest trade in NBA history.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think it was like 6 players. 6 players for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and it was like, yo, this is unheard of. And to see what that 07, 08 team did, yo, was just like it was magical, yo. Like, I remember the opening night we played the Wizards. Fucking destroyed the Wizards, yo. Destroyed the Wizards in Gilbert Arenas. Destroyed them. And I'm like, yo, that's what's to look forward to for the rest of this year. Get to the playoffs, first round. Hawks, Joe Johnson, Mike Bibby. That was tough series, bro. And the thing I noticed about those Celtics, they won every home in the first 2 series. They won every home game, and then they would go on the road and they would lose. So both series was 7 games because we couldn't win in Atlanta. And then the second series went to Cleveland. We couldn't win in Cleveland. And I think Cleveland stole one. If I'm not, no, we went up 2. No, we won every home game. They won every home game. So first series Atlanta, second series Cleveland. That third series was the Detroit. The It was that older team. Beat them. And once we beat them, I'm like, yo, we actually got a chance. Because that, for me, that was a younger LeBron. That 3 right there is what started big threes. Because once Boston beat LA, LeBron was like, I can't beat these guys by myself. You know what I mean? I gotta take my talents to South Beach. And
absolutely,
we seen what that was, man. That might be my second favorite big 3.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
And the only reason I picked KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce over the LeBron, Wade, and Bosh was KG might be my favorite player, yo. And seeing them duel the way they did, yo, was just like, man. Before the game, you just be nervous, you know what I mean? Because LeBron could pop off for 60 any night. Yeah. Before KG went to Boston, I'm like, Paul Pierce is this old, slow guy who But I started to watch his game and see like he was slow, but he could get to where he wanted to. He could shoot. He can attack. A lot of dunks. He like a lot of his posters is like I didn't think he was finna dunk. Yeah, like whoa, like what are you doing, oh man? Like, but he definitely made me respect him. Ray Allen, respect, man. He just was one of them dudes. It's like if you playing against him, don't let him shoot it. Like,
oh, absolutely, one of the greatest shooters of all time.
One of the greatest shooters of all time, yo. Like, that's why when he left, I kind of was salty. Off of the strength that what I didn't like was how he left. You know what I mean? Not giving him a heads up. I think that was what made KG and Paul Pierce feel the way they felt, because it was like, you my brother, yo. If you want to go somewhere else and get some money, I mean, we started from nothing. We all came together and have nothing. Won a championship, get back. Shout out, man, Kobe. That boy Kobe, man. I had a lot of headache, a lot of sleepless nights due to Kobe Bryant and his performances, man. Like, R.I.P. Kobe, man. But yeah, man, like, just if I had a time machine, man, just to go back to those, what is it, like 2007 through like what 2011, 2012, man. Like every year, you can never count them out, bro. Like
some of the best basketball. Man. Yeah, and they're the first team. They weren't, to me, they're the first team to really do the big three because they were all in their prime. I mean, yeah, you got a couple teams I'll mention here shortly, but that did it before. But some of those guys were out of their prime. This was, I mean, like you said, this was the biggest trade. This was big. This was, man, it changed basketball, obviously. Yeah. So
6 players for one player, bro. That's just like what?
I personally, since I'm a Lakers fan, not huge on Boston, but you gotta give them the respect for sure at that spot because, you know, like I said, I believe they're the first to do it. The other two teams I mentioned, I'm going to mention them briefly, and I'll get to my favorite. But you gotta give your man, that 04 Lakers team was exciting to talk about, having not just Kobe and Shaq, but having the glove and
Carl Malone
too. I mean, they're both old at that point, but man, that was exciting. And then the Rockets in '98 with Barkley, Hakeem the Dream, and who else was over there? Scottie Pippen.
I was thinking Pippen. I didn't want to be wrong, but yeah.
Pippen, man. Some of those guys were out of their prime, but man, that was exciting too. But yeah, I'm only going to say the Miami Heat and not the Celtics, just because Braun was different then. That was a different Braun.
That was the villain.
We'll never see. Yeah,
he embraced the role of the end, like the villain here, the black mask. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just those things where like he didn't care about the public's opinion. No. He just went out there and played basketball. And once he started winning, it was his second championship for me. His second one. When he stood up there with the trophies, like, what can they say now?
Yeah.
Like, what you gonna say now? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn, what can I say now? I can't call him a bum. I can't. It's like back-to-back championships. It's like he got it. Like, can't say nothing.
He didn't miss. He was just, man, he didn't miss. That was just crazy time, and just the way they practiced together, and then they were locked in 24/7. So yeah, that's hard with the Miami Heat and Boston, but man, that's who I gotta go with. That's hard.
And if you in it, and I definitely feel like if you take those players and the time that they were, I'm biased. I'm gonna go with my Celtics, but performance-wise, none of them stopping LeBron. Then you got Wade. You got to worry about who was still still Flash at the time. You know what I mean? So it was like
in his prime. Yeah. Him, Wade, and then Bosh, and then those last 3 years. Everybody and their mom was coming. Yeah, Greg Oden off the bench, Rasheed
Lewis.
Yeah. You had all these. Birdman was there. You had all these guys, young guys, Chalmers,
Norris Cole.
And never did those two guys right there. Never did anything else anywhere. So to do that with LeBron, I think speaks a lot with those guys about that team. So. Yeah, man, it's just crazy.
Good times, man, in the NBA, baby. Good times.
Before we go, I'm going to introduce a new segment. Once again, thanks for tuning in. New segment we're going to start doing. I'm going to call it trash and stash. This week we're going to talk about the teams as we go in the season, since everything's pretty much set. I'm going to name some teams, and I'm going to ask Derell here. I'll give my opinion too. Trash or stash. We're going to start with the Warriors.
Stash for sure.
Yeah.
Not
obvious,
a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. Stash.
Coming off last year's championship, Curry wanting to prove people wrong again.
Did it.
Shout out to Wiggins, man. Happy to see you somewhere succeeding. Championship, you know what I mean? Like, definitely.
Living up to the hype of the number one.
Yeah, man.
Which is hard to do. People don't talk about that enough. So to live up to the hype, congratulations.
And just a winning organization. That's just changes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It changes a lot. Just to go in there, you going from the situation that happened with Towns and Butler and Minnesota and all that to going to play with Curry and Clay and the winning organization is like, oh my God, like, okay. Like,
he knew what was up. He was ready.
Yeah, he was ready, man. I'm proud. I was happy to see that boy succeed, man.
Yeah, it's nice.
I seen a lot of Minnesota fans talking crazy about Wiggins. Like, no, you got to be happy for that kid, man. Could get another one. You know what I'm saying? Another one.
Oh, yeah. I think they got at least three more left.
Jordan Poole, man, he got stash.
You already know my answer about the Lakers. But what do you think?
Lakers? Ah, man, that's tough. I'm going to say trash. Only because you made some changes. I feel like with LeBron, you stay because you don't want to make like the whole thing with KD and Kyrie over on the offseason, like all this drama. Like,
yeah,
you don't want to, so you stay and see what you can do. I only say trash because it's LeBron and chasing Jordan, his legacy. It's like,
for sure.
You're going to need another one. And I just don't think this roster fulfills that championship like quality. So, and you got LeBron. So like I say, any team LeBron is on his last, 3-4 years, I'd say last 3 years, championship is like you aiming for a championship. You know what I mean? Anything short of that is a disappointment. Yeah. So I only say trash because it's LeBron and you aiming for a championship, and I don't think they get it this year.
I see that. I see that. Definitely see that.
Oh, does that say what I think that says?
Yes. The Pelicans?
Oh, God. I'm gonna say stash.
I like that.
That's a stash for sure, man. That man Zion coming back.
Yes.
Hopefully he's healthy and down on his weight and can perform as we know Zion to perform. CJ McCollum.
Yes.
Brandon Ingram. Like, man, like these guys I feel like gonna be ready to play. I feel like they're gonna surprise a lot of people. Definitely think they make the playoffs for sure.
Backup point guard, the light skin, Pat Bev.
That boy's something serious, man.
Yeah,
like
I like him.
I definitely think they make the playoffs, play in or playoff.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So that's definitely a stash.
I like that team. That CJ McCollum trade was very quiet, and I think that was a big move for them, especially for a franchise who's been known for ending people's careers, basically. I mean,
True.
They had to leave, so I'm gonna have to stash them for sure too. I mean, I like that team. I always like Larry Nance Jr. coming off the bench. Any team he's on, he's a good role player. So I'm excited to see what they do. This next team, I don't think they're done. If they're done making moves, I'm not sure about this team this year. We'll see. The Hornets.
Tough. Not as tough as the Lakers, but I'll say trash, and I only say that LaMelo's gonna ball out. They still got Terry Rozier over there, right? Yeah. I think what makes it was a fence thing. It was either I wasn't sure, but the thing with Miles Bridges in the offseason, I think hurts them a lot.
Absolutely.
So no matter how he comes out and performs, if it's not as good as last year, it's gonna be that this and all, you know what I'm saying? So I think Miles Bridges, had that not happened in off season, could have got a big contract
Yep.
and possibly we could be talking playoffs next year or two for the Hornets. But I think that situation kind of hinders like
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
yeah.
Because now they don't have a 4. I mean, who's going to play that 4? They didn't really make any big moves this offseason, so it definitely hurts them. That's why, man. What'd you go with?
I went with trash.
Trash, yeah, I'm going to have to say the same thing. Shout out to LaMelo Ball. Huge
Yeah.
fan of Lonzo, LaMelo, Jello, all 3 of them. But, man, I just can't roll with you this year.
Can't do it.
Man, this next team, too. Man, interesting. Magic.
I got to go stash on this one. They got a lot of young cats there. And I'm excited to see what happens in the next 3 years. You know what I mean? I want to see
Absolutely.
what they can make of that. You know what I mean? Those guys are young, but give them
so many young guys.
Yeah, give them 3-4 years. You might could get somebody else to come over and play with them. If they don't make the playoffs, we're expecting that. You know what I mean? Like we're expecting the Magic to be bad.
Yeah, nobody's expecting.
Yeah, but I think give them a couple years, man. Them guys is.
Oh yeah, once they figure out who they want to,
Mm-hmm.
because they still haven't. I'm surprised they still haven't given up on Markelle Fultz either. So they're really taking their time with this. So I'm excited. I'm gonna have to say stash too.
For sure.
Man, build around Paulo. It looks like you're gonna probably build around Paulo, Franz, Cole Anthony, and then you got Suggs at the 2. There's 4. Who's at the 5?
Damn.
Wendell Carter Jr., who's just a couple years older. I mean, if you could build with all these 5 guys, if they turn.
And they got Mac, right? Mac Biombo? Yeah, the center, Mac Biombo.
Did he go back there?
Was it? I thought it was he.
No, he's in Phoenix right now.
Oh, he's in Phoenix?
Mo Bamba.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I think Mo Bamba, young guy, too. If he can be what he's supposed, if all these guys can be what they're supposed to be. And again, I mentioned Markelle Fultz, who probably not going to be with the team in the continuous rebuild. But, man, yeah, like 6 guys to build around for 10, 12 years.
Nice.
It's scary, yeah.
And these are guys that you get young and, like, not at their, like, the peak of their career, you know what I mean? So I could keep them, I could get rid of them if I want, you know what I mean? So it's in their hands to see what they want to do, but I definitely think they keep these guys and just, you know what I'm saying, continue to build and see, we need to,
Yeah, I'm excited. Just to have a top to bottom 5, too. It's just, man, Colette, Anthony, Suggs, Wagner, who was the 4? Banchero.
Oh, yes, he is.
Carter Jr.
Yeah, that's definitely stash. Future. Stash that for the future.
You already know our answer on the next one, but Cavs.
Stash,
Next dynasty after the Warriors for sure. Scary. Man, if Cavs don't mess it up, man.
I want to see in the next year or two, what's another move they make to get somebody over here. I definitely don't think that. I think that Donovan Mitchell was to set up something else. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, it ain't over. I mean, there's something, man. Like I think we were talking about before, they could pick any one of these guys and trade him for a veteran. They want to bring in KD, they could bring in KD. Kyrie, they want to bring him home. They could do it. Here, I'll give you man, take your pick.
Take your pick. We gotta.
Yeah, you want Garland? Go ahead. You want Allen? Go ahead. Mobley. I definitely off that squad. Mitchell, I think he could be a superstar. So always keep Mitchell. Jared Allen, I think he could be one of the best centers in the league. Yeah. Man, Garland, that's a 50-50, but I think you could work around maybe getting rid of Garland and Mobley if you had to for a superstar.
Yeah, exactly. You got options. You know what I mean?
You have options. And LeBron can opt out in 24. Obviously, the Warriors can't draft Bronny if he's going to go high. So, no Bronny, but still option on Braun too, just to bring him in as a role player. So be exciting if he wants his ring, so he can get him that way.
And then go back home.
Go back home and do it too. Be exciting.
Real exciting to see that again. Yeah. It's like the last chapter, final chapter. That's what you put on the final chapter.
Going home again.
Man, like that'd be good for basketball. Period. You know what I mean? See that again.
Absolutely. What do you think about these Clippers?
I'm gonna say stash.
Okay.
If they can stay healthy.
Absolutely.
If they can stay healthy, man. Reggie Jackson gave us a great year last year, yo. Like, man. Was Nick Batum, Paul
Oh
George.
yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, Paul.
Shout out to Luke Kennard for having an
Man.
unbelievable year last year.
Like, they got it. Yeah, they.
Top 5 in 2K.
3-point.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm
Crazy.
like, man.
Yeah, good year. Yeah.
Zubac. If they,
Zubac. I
yeah,
like Zubac.
they got some pieces over
John
there,
Wall.
man.
I mean, yeah. It's
Oh yeah,
John Wall, Paul George, Kawhi. Man, you guys
stash,
stay healthy.
stash.
I'm gonna have to stash because I'm excited.
I mean, yeah, excited to see what they can do, man.
It's a chance to take over LA right now.
Right now,
If you're gonna do it, now's the time.
yeah. When we talked about stash or trash, I came up with a couple of my own, man, right before the show started. So, stash or trash, Nets being contenders.
Oh, stash. I think I said, what did I say? Top 2?
Yeah, I think you did say top 2 or top 3. Yeah, you put them in the put them in the top on yours.
Yeah, definitely, because I think they can, even this year, if they had to dismantle it halfway through the year and change things up, I think they could still go to the playoffs, go deep in it with what they got from top to bottom, for sure.
Okay. Stash or trash. Look, this is kind of interesting that we've been talking about this. Stash or trash, Magic a top 5 East team in the next 5 years.
Oh, absolutely, stash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say now. I'm gonna say right now. Remember this day, Cleveland and Orlando, top 2 teams in the East.
Could you imagine that in the Eastern Conference Finals, like a couple years from now, the Magic and the Cavaliers, yo, with these young squads? Like, you know what I'm saying? 3-5 years from now, Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs, Maverick. Magic.
Years and years. Yeah.
That'd be good just to see for the NBA, just with new teams. You know what I mean? Like, and great rosters too. To see that you can start from scratch and actually build something too.
Like Golden State did. I mean, that's all they did, and they just plugged in some veterans as they went. I mean,
yeah, exactly what the man. Yeah, exactly what the Warriors did. Shout out to Mark Jackson too, man.
Yeah,
he don't get enough credit for what he did.
He built that team for real. I mean, Steve Kerr, a lot of credit to him. Too,
yeah,
but Mark Jackson, he does not. He should have at least 2 rings, I believe. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Last stash or trash. A superstar landed in Houston in the next 3 years.
Oh man, and I left Houston now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I left Houston now. Absolutely, because man, I don't know if it was you. I made this comment to you the other day, but Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, please don't come at me for making this comment. But Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, I'm going off the way he plays, his physical stature and all that. MJ and Pippen. MJ and Pippen to come. And then you got Aspirin from Turkey at the 5 that's building with those guys. I'm not sure what we're going to do with Kevin Porter Jr., but he's there as well. Deshaun Tate from Texas A&M. He could be a part of that. He might not, but he could still be a role player. So just to see Jalen, Aspirin, and Jabari Smith, and I think they'll get another top pick soon. Yeah, I think somebody will be over there next. You said 5 years?
Next, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I think maybe a little longer.
5,
after that. 7 to 8.
7 to 8.
I think they gotta get somebody else over there, and then you gotta get Green and Jabari Smith in their primes.
Sweet.
In their primes, but yeah, I think they remind me a lot of Pippen and MJ.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, I gotta see this. Yeah. He said, don't come at me for this.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a bold prediction. I know it is, but I had to make it.
That's your team, man. Before we go, man, I want to shout out my wife. I love you. Shout out my kids. Shout out my family. Shout out to my boy Cody. Shout out to Wiffle Boys Pizza.
Shout out to my kids too.
Shout out, man. Love y'all.
We got one question we gotta answer real quick. Who do you think will be MVP this year?
Ooh, MVP. I can't go against Giannis.
Okay.
I can't go against Giannis, yo. Just best player in the NBA right now. I think he puts up. He played what? He's playing in Greece. And what is that going on?
The
FIFA,
World
like
Cup.
the world. Yeah, like
yeah.
he's just getting. That's just a little exercise for him, bro. Like if he can get his 3-point going, yo, the next 3 to 5 years is his. Like if he could get a 3-pointer,
Definitely.
what can you do? If you sag off of him, knock the 3 down. If you play him up, you just get out my way,
Yeah.
dunk on your head,
Just gotta get that shot down.
bro.
That's
I go Giannis. That's my safe pick.
It is a safe pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Man,
So you got MVP.
don't come at me. Revenge season, baby. Russell Westbrook.
Ah!
We're gonna ball out this year. We're gonna ball out. So I'm excited to see that. Shout out to Westbrook. Man, shout out to everybody.
Who's your safe pick? Because I know that was just off the hinges pick right there. Who's your safe pick for MVP? Curry? Okay.
Curry.
Yeah,
Gotta
safe
go
pick. I said Westbrook. Man, could you imagine?
No.
He said no.
Shout out to Westbrook. Hey, prove us wrong. Do it. Excited.
Merch on deck, man.
Merch on deck. Let us know what y'all think. Comments. If you guys would buy, let me know. Shout out to Derell. Come on the show. I appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you having me, man. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
Talking to Myself podcast, man.
Instagram, Twitter,
everything.
YouTube.
My
we
boy.
out there. You know
we out here in these streets, yo.
Tune in next week.
Peace. Good shit, man.